咱今日繼續嚟訴上，一個學驗中間7嘅成立，中間嘅第3嘅成立。
This morning I would like to continue to reflect with you on the 7 miracles in the Gospel of John, the third message.
這個成立，我要對乜叫做3句話嘅成立。
I would call this miracle the 3-word miracle.
是 John chapter 5, 1 to 9。
It's based in John chapter 5,
因為
verses 1
呢
to
段
9.
聖經嘅中間，
In this passage,
耶穌只講到3句話。
Jesus uttered only 3 statements.
這3句話，好這個人完全嘅好起來。
These 3 statements allow this person to fully recover.
所以你哋想想看咪，耶穌講這3句話是什麼款嘅話？
That's why we are going to reflect on these 3 statements made by Jesus.
因為時間關係，咱就特別係用英文嚟讀，但看韓文你只別請你看啲聖經，還是看這個 screen 嘅聖經嚇。
Sometime later, Jesus went up to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish festivals. Now there is in Jerusalem near the sheep gate a pool, which in Aramaic is called Bethesda, which is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Here a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed, and they waited for the moving of the waters. From time to time, an angel of the Lord would come down and stir up the waters. The first one into the pool after each such disturbance would be cured of whatever disease they had. One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in the condition for a long time, he asked, "Do you want to get well?" "Sir," the invalid replied, "I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I am trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me." Then Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat and walk." At once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. The day on which this took place was a Sabbath.
喺這個約翰福音裏面有7個真正特別嘅成立，
There are 7 special miracles recorded in the book of John.
每一個成立都上一個目的，
Every miracle has one goal, one aim.
就是要證明耶穌是上帝嘅兒。
To attest the fact that Jesus is the Son of God.
咱已經說上了頭一個成立，
We already reflected on the first miracle.
是水變做酒。
When Jesus turned water to wine.
這個成立要證明耶穌是創造物質嘅上帝，無條嘅主宰。
This miracle wanted to attest the fact that Jesus is the Lord of creation, the creator of all.
水是水，酒是酒。
Water is substantially water and in contrast to
水
wine.
無可能變做酒，
Water can't be turned to wine.
但係上帝有能改變每一個物質裏面嘅成分，
But Jesus is able to transform the atomic substance of each particular
而
element.
將水嘅成分改變成做酒嘅成分。
He is able to turn water in its subatomic level to wine.
因為佢是 creator，佢是創造者。
Because he's a creator.
第二成立咧講到耶穌伊哋這個大神嘅囝，
The second miracle talks of the healing of the royal official
只
son.
係證明耶穌是掌管空間嘅主。
It's attested to the fact that Jesus is the sovereign Lord of space.
耶穌喺迦拿，主實係迦拿。
In camp,
而講到一句話喺迦百農嘅這個所在，這個病人就好咯。
he said, he uttered the statement and this sick person in Capernaum was healed.
上斜到30里嘅路，30 miles。
For 30 miles.
耶穌一句話30里路嘅人就好起來咯。
With one statement, a person away, 30 miles away, was cured.
因為耶穌冇受時間及空間嘅限制，
Because Jesus is beyond the constraint of time and space.
佢是無條嘅主宰。
He is the sovereign Lord of the universe.
第三成立
The third miracle,
是耶穌醫好一個破病了38里嘅人。
this time Jesus healed someone who had been sick for 38 years.
喺這個成立裏面，
In this particular
耶
miracle,
穌講到3句話。
Jesus articulated 3 statements.
頭一句話，
First statement,
耶穌甲佢講：
he told the sick person,
你愛痊癒嗎？
"Do you want to get well?"
第二句話，
Second
起
statement,
來著你嘅褥子行咯。
"Get up, pick up your mat and walk."
第三句話，
Third statement,
你已經好咯，唔能夠犯罪，驚你對就更加厲害。
"See, you're well again. Stop sinning or something worse may happen to you."
這3句話，
These 3 statements
好這個38里破病人有通完全真的好起來。
was able to allow this 38-year person who was sick for 38 years to recover.
咱嚟小想講這3句話什麼意思？
Let's reflect on each of these 3 statements.
頭一句話
First statement,
，Do you want to get well？
"Do you want to get well?"
這句話是好人重燃盼望的問題。
This is a question which ignites hope.
耶穌一句話好這個人已經完全作夢嘅人，同時得到淡薄嘅盼望。
Just with this one statement, he was able to ignite hope amidst hopelessness.
這個問題就真簡單。
This question looks easy.
Do you want to get well？
Do you want to get well?
但你想看嘛，這個問題絕對唔簡單。
But as you think further, you will notice this statement is no easy statement.
第二節 講這個所在叫做不是大嘅所在，
The second verse speaks of this place called Bethesda.
裏面有個狼子，裏
There are 5 covered colonies.
面有真罪被人，
And there are disabled people there.
你每一個人嚟這個所在，只有一個原因，
Everyone who was there had only one goal.
they want to get well。
They wanted to get well.
因為猶太人有一個傳說，
There's this popular tradition in the Jewish
其
community.
實某一個時間忽然間就落嚟，
At a particular moment, the angel would come down from heaven
而點燈這個嚟追，
and stir the water.
上下大聲落去，
Whoever leaped into the pool of
連
water,
開鼻都好起嚟。
you're the first one, then you'll get well.
咱大細冇不去研究這個傳說是真是假，
Let's not try to go further to find out whether it's true or not.
但明顯這是破病的人一個嚟淡薄嘅盼望。
But this definitely is an evidence of the hope the sick people have.
要佢描咗這個所在，這個不是大千兆一間大間嘅醫館，
Just imagine this Bethesda, a very big hospital.
有真罪病人嘅這
There
個所
are
在。
so many sick people inside.
你見醫館嘅時陣，
And then you go into the
看到真
hospital
罪病人，
and you saw all these sick people.
你問其中一個人，
And you would ask one of them,
你愛好無？
do you want to get well?
這個問題根本無需要問這個問題。
This statement, question looks ridiculous.
你若我是其中一個病人，
Because if I were one of the
你若
patients,
問我
if you ask me,
，Do you want to get well？
do I want to
我
get
係講一
well?
句話，
I'll tell you
我嚟這創啥？
what am I here for if not to get well?
我是病人，
I'm a sick person.
我去醫館創啥
What for am I in the
？Of
hospital?
course，愛好啊。
One reason, I just want to get
所
well.
以耶穌問這個問題，千兆是 nonsense，完全冇意思嘅問
It
題。
looks like Jesus' question is a lot ridiculous and nonsense.
No，
It's not so.
耶穌每一句話都有一家嘅真則特別真理喺裏面。
Every statement of Jesus carries with it an enormous amount
但
of
係
truth.
上帝從來冇講一句冇內容嘅話。
Our God never uttered a superfluous statement.
一句話是什麼意思
What does this particular question or
？Do you
statement mean?
want to get well？
What does it mean? Do you want to get well?
先講耶穌看這個病人，在一隻病人破病了真扎久，
Jesus looked at the sick person and know that he had been sick for so many years.
38年，
That was a long years, 38
人
years.
生有落最38年，
How many 38 years do you have in your life?
有人只有人嘅，
Probably there are some who have 2.
真少有第三嘅。
It's very rarely that one would have 3.
這個人喺人生最好嘅時間，竟然倒喺床嘅裏面，
The best time of this person's life he spent on the mat.
佢真可憐。
He is a pitiful
所
person.
以耶穌問你 ：Do you want to get well？
That's why Jesus asked him, do you want to get well?
但是答案更加奇怪，
There's something very strange about his
你唔是
answer.
講 yes，
He didn't say yes.
你又唔是講 no，
He didn't say no.
你講什麼呢？
What did he say?
第七節。
7th verse
你
goes,
講先是啊，最典型嘅時陣，無人將我綁喺地嘅裏面，我當我落去嘅時陣，就有人俾我大聲落去咯。
Sir, the invalid replied, I have no one to help me into the pool when the water stirred. While I'm trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me.
意思是講我冇盼望啊，
It means he was trying to tell Jesus, I'm hopeless.
我唔是無愛啊，
It's not that I desired
無
not to
人
get
無
well.
人幫襯我，
Because no one's going to help me to get well.
我是賭場嘅啊，
I lie on the mat.
無人嚟扶我落去，我冇通落去啊。
Nobody actually brought me into the pool.
但是無人幫襯我落去啊，
Nobody helped me.
所以我到了38年啊
That's。why for 38 years I spent my
我
life
嚟
on
這
the
個
mat.
所在根本冇啥內容啊，
Actually, it's a bit useless that I'm here.
但是問題就是嚟咯，
But here comes the question.
既然冇內容。
If it is not useful for him to be there,
為什麼這個人個去這個所在？
why would he still be there?
這就是人生最矛盾嘅所在。
This attests to the fact that human beings are
咱每
creatures
一
of
個人嘅
paradox.
生命當中有真最矛盾嘅所在。
We have lots of feelings of paradoxes
一
within us.
方面感覺這個問題無通解決，
On the one hand, we feel hopeless over certain things.
一方面感覺欠猜有盼望。
On the other hand, we still feel that little ember of hope within us.
你明白什麼意思不？
Would you know what that means?
當上帝創造人嘅時陣，
When God created human beings,
傳道書第3章，
in the 3rd chapter of
上
Ecclesiastes,
帝將這個物件包在人嘅心嘅裏面，
God put something into human beings.
這個就影響 eternal。
That's the sense of eternity.
每一個人嘅心裏面有一個 sense of eternity。
Every human being has within him that sense of
這
eternity.
個物件讓人產生盼望。
This sense of eternity gives a person hope.
雖然咱真正無唔茫嘅時陣，
At the point of hopelessness,
裏面這個盼望永遠無失去，
there is still that ember of hope within that sense of
因
eternity.
為上帝是 咱的獨一的盼望。
because God is our only hope.
所以這個人一方面感覺無望，一方面感覺檢猜無望。
On the one hand, he felt very hopeless, but on the other hand, he was still very hopeful.
我哋講得更加明白，
To make things clearer,
真濟太太
there are many wives
感覺家己丈夫是無盼望，
who think their husbands are
我
hopeless.
看超是未變的啦，
My husbands will never
伊就是
change.
安尼了啦，
He will stay like that
伊就
forever.
是貴世人就是安尼了啦。
For lifetime,
雖然是安尼，
Even so,
但係心內其實對我的丈夫也是有盼望。
there is still that little hope within the wife
So,
that the husband may change.
仍話唔望我係近超嚟參加教會，
That's why she still wishes that the husband join church
唔
service.
望萬一有一擺牧師講道嘅時候，忽然間我係近超多改變。
Hoping that one day, after the message of the pastor, he will undergo a big transformation.
相反還是相反？
There's the other scenario could be
真
possible.
濟丈夫感覺自己太太無盼望，
Many husbands think their wives are hopeless.
無咯就是安尼咯。
She will stay like that
但是
forever.
仍然有淡薄嘅盼望。
Nevertheless, he still had that little hope that she will change.
耶穌真真清楚，
Jesus was clear about this.
這個人是一個失去盼望嘅人，一個活在作夢嘅人。
Jesus knows that this person has lost hope and is a person living in despair.
但係耶穌確實知啊，
Yet nevertheless, Jesus still
每
knows
一個人
within each one
喺
of
咱嘅
us,
心靈嘅心堆嘅裏面，
in our heart of hearts,
一款嘅盼望嘅火，仍然有淡薄啊點度啲嘅
the
所在。
little ember of hope is still there amidst the ashes of
耶
hopelessness.
穌愛這度一個問題 ：Do you want to get well？
Jesus asked the question, do you want to get well?
好，這個火重新點度起來。
That this little ember will be ignited again.
馬太福音17章，
In Matthew chapter 17,
有一擺耶穌喺山頂落來嘅時陣，
Jesus came down from the mountain.
有一個老爸帶隻囡仔嚟找耶穌
There。was this father who brought his son to Jesus.
伊甲耶穌講：
He told Jesus,
耶穌啊，我係叫好鬼父啊，
he said, Jesus, my son is demon possessed.
真可憐啊！
He is in a pitiful state.
叫你嘅門徒趕未出去啊！
I told you, I requested your disciples to drive away the demons, but it's not possible.
耶穌啊，叫你幫襯。
Jesus, help me.
耶穌問呢一個問題：
Jesus asked him,
你有信心嗎？
do you have faith?
這個人講咗一句話，
And he uttered this beautiful
是
statement.
固然每一個人都應該學習講嘅話。
It's a statement that we all must learn from.
我信，但信無夠嘢，叫做幫襯。
I do believe, he said, but help me in my disbelief.
你真真誠實面對耶穌，
He was very honest to Christ.
真真誠實面對家己。
He was very honest to himself.
我信，
I do believe,
但是信無夠。
but my faith is not sufficient.
我嘅信心無夠嘢，
My faith is insufficient.
上帝啊，你幫襯我嘅信心。
Therefore, God help my
這個就是
unbelief.
咱嘅問題嘛。
Isn't this our problem?
咱對上帝有信心，
We have faith in God.
咱對上帝有盼望。
We have hope in Christ.
咱嘅信心、咱嘅盼望都無夠。
But our faith and hope are insufficient.
咱需要上帝重新點到咱心內嘅盼望。
We need Christ to ignite the little ember of hope in us
心內
again.
嘅盼，這個信心重新谷起來。
That this faith may turn to fire again.
這個人講。
This person said,
最典當嘅時陣，我無通落去。
when the water stirred, I couldn't get in by
這個人
myself.
只需一個辦法，
He only had this one way.
伊拿在落去就好咯。
He thought by leaping into the pool, he would get well.
耶穌同佢講
But Jesus said,
：No，
the answer is no.
我異地呢有真罪辦法，
I can cure you in many ways.
你無需要落去，
You don't have to leap yourself
我
into
等
the
我你
pool.
好起來。
I can actually cure you.
你若有信心，
If you have faith,
你會限制了上帝嘅工作。
you will never constrain what God
你若
can
無
do.
信心，
If you don't have faith,
你限制了你上帝喺你生命當中應該創嘅代志。
you'd actually have a list of constraints that you put Jesus within.
Do you want to get well？
Do you want to get
你需
well?
要將你家己完全交俾耶穌嘅先做嘅
You
你
need。to completely give up yourself to Christ.
看耶穌喺你生命當中俾追實你。
That and watch and see what Jesus will do in your
耶
life.
穌繼續講第二個問題咯。
Then the second question, that second statement of Jesus.
你講起來，條啲肉枝夾啊！
Jesus said, get up and pick up your mat and walk.
這句話渣渣是變咗兩個部分，
You can divide this particular statement into two.
每一個部分都係一個命令。
And there's a command in each portion.
頭一個命令
The first command,
起來，
get up.
第二個命令
Second,
條啲肉啊起來嘅，
pick up your mat and walk.
兩個命令合起來，
If you combine the two
嗱
commandments,
遵守就是完全嘅義理。
and if you obey, then that's complete healing.
這個人若冇聽上帝講話，
If this person refuses this commandment of Christ,
這個人就未好起來。
this person will never get well.
但這兩個問題什麼意思呢？
But what do these two commandments mean?
这是个不走回头路的命令。
This is a command for him not to turn back.
什么意思呢？
What does that mean?
你看头这个命令，
First command,
起来，
get up. This is the first command.
起来，破病了30不里，倒了30不里的人，
This person has been sick and lying on the mat for 38 years.
只有可能起来啊！
How could he possibly get up?
咁唔是，但係就講起來，
But Jesus nevertheless said, get up.
你就起來。
And then he get up.
我就記得雖然第3章，
I remember in chapter 3 of the book of Acts,
彼得約翰喺聖殿嘅美門嘅門口看到一個人，
Peter and John, they were at the gate of the temple, beautiful.
這個人出世就跛腳，
This person was crippled since birth.
已經40歲咯。
And he's now 40 years old.
40年從來唔不行一步路。
40 years, he'd never experienced a step.
彼得約翰及伊講：
And Peter and
我
John said,
用主耶穌基督名叫你起來，
in the name of Jesus, I command you to walk.
伊就起來。
And this person stood up and walked.
睇你知未啊？
Brothers
無
and
論咱
sisters,
破病了偌久，
no matter how long we have been sick,
無論是身軀屬靈嘅破病，
whether it's physical sickness or spiritual
主
sickness,
若叫你起來，
if Jesus said, get up,
你的確有通起來。
then you surely should get
但
up.
問題是真罪人家己無逼起來。
But the problem is we refuse to stand up
點解
sometimes.
冇呀？有，
Then is that so?
我都讀真罪人嗰啲人，
I have seen many cases like that.
家己無逼起來，
They just refuse to stand up
明
and
明
get
無
up.
通起來，伊就是無逼起來。
They are capable of standing up, they just refuse.
而家都係藏喺裏面，
They want to be
而家
lying there.
人照顧，
They want people to take
而家
care of them.
人學晒。
They want people to take good
我
care of
無
them.
爽啊，
I don't feel
我
well.
無法啦，
I couldn't.
伊家己無逼起來。
It's just that he doesn't want to stand up.
14年前，
4 years ago,
我去到以後
after my surgery,
出嚟，小妹狗很嚴重。
I never thought that the operation would be that serious.
本來是講去到了幾時你就追到去咯，
I thought I could go home after the next day after the surgery,
但是因為有 infection，
but there was infection,
所以需要到啲醫院裏面。
so I need to be
當我
confined
出
to
嚟嘅時
hospital.
陣，
When I got
我
out
試
of the
過
hospital,
披一個 tube，一個 tube，
I have tubes into my system.
我近超嗰度係食假假咯。
My wife was a little scared.
After
but
2
when I looked,
hours，
after 2
我
hours,
起來以後，
when I woke up after 2 hours,
我就講我去廁所，
I needed to go to the bathroom.
我近超講你免去咯，
Then my wife told me not to.
你倒地下咯。
Just lie there.
no 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 no，我講唔免，我俾起嚟，
I said no. I insisted on standing up
因為我滯啊，
because I
你咪
know,
是滯啊。
and you also know,
你嗱別層裏面咔嚓起來，你就咔嚓都佢出嚟。
if you get up at a shorter span of time, then that means to say you will go home earlier.
你嗱冇俾起嚟，
If you refuse
佢
to
啲
get
倒
up
多咧，
and you just insist on lying there,
追
you need water.
微微微微啦，有微微嗎？
I need to go to the washroom.
哦，咁啊，追
Water.
微微，你鬼死啦就唔免起嚟啦。
Then you will never get up.
有通起來，為什麼冇俾起來？
If you can get up, why will you not get up?
我起來，
I stood up,
結果一禮拜我就去大頂講道咯。
and then after 1 week, I was able to preach in the
我嗱冇
pulpit.
俾起來，
If I refused then
可
to
能我就
stand
倒
up,
幾度倒幾個禮拜。
probably I will spend more weeks in the
叫咗幫
hospital.
襯人，
May God help
你
us.
記得一句話。
Remember,
有通坐，唔通倒；有通徛，唔通坐；有通行，唔通徛；有通走，唔通行。
statements go, do not lie down if you can sit. Do not sit if you can stand. Do not stand if you can move. Do not just move if you can walk.
唔通小家聽說你家己。
Don't be too protective of yourself.
你有通創大志
If you are capable of doing something,
，do something，
then do something.
唔通鬼死人叫人學晒你。
Then don't be too reliant on
呢個人啊，
this person.
有時講你起來，
Jesus said, get up.
因為這個人若冇俾起來，
Because if this person refused,
你就未起來。
he will never get up.
有上帝話已經有規律喺生命嘅中
The
間，
power of Jesus' words already told him, get up.
你起來，
You get up.
你若配合上帝嘅話，
If you match Jesus' words with action,
上帝嘅力喺你生命嘅中間，
then the power of Jesus is manifested in your life.
你就有通起來。
So you get up.
好啦，第二。
Second,
有就講起來以後，着你肉子起嚟嘅
Jesus said, get up, pick up your mat. This is the second commandment.
，pick up your mat，即句話實在冇啥意思咯。
This pick up your mat looks superfluous.